Hey, what's going on, guys? And with an here, and welcome back. I think Carol is trying to enact the prophecy with the way she's acting and the way and the things that she says to us on the weird and normal route. It's like really seeming like to me she's trying to do something. Obviously, I mean, there's a lot of evidence for that she's trying to do something and that Chris and her are working together on it. But yeah, this isn't about how like Noelle is like the main hero or whatever. Like there are other videos on how the prophecy is talking about Noelle as the second hero or like the other girl or whatever. This kind of builds off of that in the sense of I think Carol knows what the prophecy is and she thinks her family is important to the prophecy and that's why she's trying to enact it. So anyways, I'm going to get right into it. So obviously we know from the phone calls and all that Chris and Carol are probably working together, or at least she knows about the soul, especially with the U and big red text. So we're pretty sure that they're working together and that she knows more than like most people in this world know, or like she thinks she knows more. We have yet to see. Like maybe she just assumes like her family's important and that Chris is relevant somehow. I don't really know, but this kind of says like to me that she probably knows about the soul. So of course in the normal route we have don't forget Chris, you promise. So obviously right there she's talking about this sort of like promise that her and Chris have and that Chris said that they would fulfill. And the weird route, well, again, that is assuming that that voice is Carol. We don't fully 100% know that it's Carol, but it'd be weird if it wasn't. I still think that there's a chance in the future we could get that explained somehow, that it just isn't Carol and it's like the night or something. But in the weird route, we have, you're going to the festival tomorrow, aren't you? Noelle said she's really looking forward to seeing you. So in my head, it's like, well, she called on the normal route to tell Chris, like, our promise, remember our promise. But then in the weird route, there's no mention of said promise or like how Chris like, hey, don't forget our promise. So in my head it says, okay, well she's talking about the promise here on the weird route, right? Chris's promise to Carol was like, hey, I'm gonna take your daughter to the festival or like get closer with her or like whatever and make sure that like this prophecy gets fulfilled. So that's why I think the promise had to have been like, hey, get with Noelle and like, you know, do whatever. Like whether it's like a good or bad thing, it's the sense of like forcing Noelle to go with you. Like I don't know if Carol wants it to be a negative thing because it does say in the prophecy, love finds its way to the girl. So maybe Carol wants like whatever that red thing is in Noelle in the weird route. Maybe that is like the love, or some people think, or I think it could be a new red soul that we're like forming inside of Noelle to control her. Because obviously, you know, love finds its way to the girl is that talking about at last was the girl, which is clearly Susie because of the acting, probably because it's on her carpet in her room. Or is it talking about the second hero, the girl with Hope Cross on her heart? And this whole thing is just confusing because it's like Gerson says that Susie is the one with the power of hope. So it's just really odd the way that the prophecy is written. And it's definitely 100% supposed to be ambiguous on purpose. Because, you know, like what if we have to control Susie and that's what love finds its way to the girl could mean, you know? Because this thing definitely looks like it could be Susie or Noelle. Like I think it could be like Noelle with a hood easily. But also, I have no idea. Maybe it isn't because I guess, because I always thought like that thing on the right was hair, and if it was a hood, how would her hair be sticking out? I don't know. But either way, I think that the thing that Carol is talking about in that phone call is Noelle. We need to advance this like plot or whatever is happening to get closer to Noelle and force her to have a soul or control her or whatever. So ignore this slide. Just kidding. I was screwing around on this and I thought it's funny. I think it'd be a cool gimmick. I think my gimmick is gonna be putting random gifs in my slides. I love the Chris doing the freaking hype emote. Okay, anyway, I'm just gonna try to ignore all that. So, police sacrifice next week. I think that potentially in the prophecy, there could be something about a police sacrifice, and that's why Carol knows that there's going to be a police sacrifice. At some point in the prophecy, it says there has to be a police sacrifice. So maybe because Undyne's missing, she's like, okay, well now we know there's gonna be a police sacrifice. But then again, I just thought about it now. She does say about there's gonna be a church dark world tonight. So it's like, I mean, maybe the prophecy also says that too. Again, either she's working with the night, or the prophecy says it, or I was thinking it could be both maybe. Because the prophecy does like say everything, so probably does talk about a police sacrifice. It probably does talk about a church being church dark world, but I just think that it should, I guess I was just trying to say that it could be brought up more that like prophecy probably like says stuff like this, like the police sacrifice, like and that's why she could know about it, and that's how you could explain it away without her being connected to the Knight, you know? I think there's like a high chance that she's probably working with the Knight, but again, it could get explained away by just being in the prophecy, and that's why she knows about it. And she's like, well, Undyne's gone, so that has to be what the prophecy's talking about with the police sacrifice. So finally, obviously, we've seen before that Asgore and Carol are probably working together because like Toriel talking about her funding his quote unquote thing or whatever he's obsessed with. But I think he's more trying to get Des back, and I think like obviously Carol would want to get Des back, but if she's working with a Knight and knows it's Des, then it's probably not just about Des. It's probably about enacting the prophecy because, again, of like that phone call. I just feel like that phone call is really what makes this seem likely to me. It might be only like the big piece of evidence, I guess, but I think it's a really interesting idea because there are a lot of things like that in real life too, where people try to enact stuff that the Bible says is going to happen in the future to actually happen now, to like have like Jesus come back or whatever. So yeah, it's like a really interesting idea to like take from real life, like things that people do in real life, and like kind of put it on this, especially because the Deltarune religion is heavily based on Christianity. So I think that's really cool and a cool like concept if this is actually like what the weird route is leading to, and how the weird route is probably what the prophecy is supposed to be, but Susie's the one that breaks it in like the main route. So this one's like a more small thing, I feel like, and not too crazy of a thing. But yeah, I wonder if by this time I will have 1,000 subs. I think I might, so thanks for that if I do, and if not, just wait for my thanks until we get 1,000 subs, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I appreciate all the support. I'm filming this right after the Sands one, so yeah, it's pretty funny. I don't really have anything else to say, so again, subscribe if you want to see more. Comment below, like the video, and I'll see you guys next time.